Starting and running a business is hard, but you don't have to do it alone. Whether you're an established business owner or thinking about starting a side hustle to earn extra income, I am here to teach you how to show up as your unfiltered self, level up your business, and thrive as a mompreneur. Let's embrace the chaos and start enjoying the journey together. I'm Amy Traw, and you're listening to the Motivated Mompreneur podcast. Welcome back into the Motivated Mompreneur podcast. I am joined today by Marnie of Rumbly, and we are talking all about entrepreneurship and motherhood and how everything intersects and how, what we thought of motherhood and the reality of it can sometimes be two totally different things. So Marnie, welcome into the podcast.
Thank you so much, Amy. I'm super excited to be here today.
I'm super excited for this conversation. But before we dive in, tell us more about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, definitely. I am a mom, a recently mom of 4. I have 3 toddlers, and just last week on Monday, I gave birth to my 4th, a beautiful, perfect, healthy, sweet baby girl. So I am very much heavily in the thick of postpartum, while still being a mom. And while still being a solo entrepreneur and launching a business I'm still within the first year of a new business that I launched, and Rumbly, and we can get all into that later. But ultimately, I am just juggling everything right now all at once.
Yeah, it's totally a juggle, which kind of brings us into our topic of motherhood and entrepreneurship and where those two intersect. So let's start with diving into more about Rumbly. So what is Rumbly?
Sure, yeah, and I'll give you a little bit of background first, I guess, on how Rumbly came to be, and that really ties in well with motherhood. So when I was on maternity leave with my 3rd child, I had this vision to start a pregnancy subscription company. I had very, I want to say easy, although I know that word's not taken very well always, but pregnancies. So I was very fortunate to have very, I guess, less complicated pregnancies, and I loved being pregnant. I'm not pregnant anymore as of a week ago, but I love being pregnant. And I found, though, that something still wasn't sitting right, no matter how much I love being pregnant. And I had positive experiences, was this sense of loss of self. And I know several women experience that. And often we don't really realize that we are going through this period of loss and mourning and transition and change. If we do realize it, often it's much past when we're out of that stage. And for me, that's the situation that happened. It took me a while to understand what just kind of felt off, even though I was having all these positive experiences. And it was the loss of sense of self and identity. And so going back, I had this dream to build a company where I could help women prioritize themselves in pregnancy, to put more attention on them when they put everything on the baby, when everyone in their universe is putting everything on the baby. We all care so deeply about the health and development of a child we're trying to bring into this world, which is absolutely the right frame of mind. But at the same time, we do that by sacrificing ourselves through that process. So I had kind of this loss of identity when I was coming out of, I guess, my postpartum era. And it's like, okay, now what? Who am I? I'm a mom. Everyone sees me as a mom, but what happened to Marnie? And so with the pregnancy subscription and just tying that back, I wanted to give something for women to touch base with monthly, something that could help them celebrate at the best of times, but be there for them during those hard times, because there's a lot of both, and while I say I had personally, felt that my pregnancy is uncomplicated and they're pretty joyful experiences, there was a lot to celebrate that I felt went unnoticed, and I was celebrating in solitude. And there still was, there's a lot of hard challenges that I know other women go through, maybe stronger than I did. And You just need someone by your side. And even if you're surrounded by other women in your life, close, whether it's relatives, friends, colleagues that are pregnant, your journey and your experience is so individual and so unique. And every pregnancy is so individual and so unique that, just kind of having someone that is there for you with your back, kind of showing up with gifts every month, put a smile on your face, support you where you need to be supported, was just something that I became so passionate about doing and creating. So while I was on mat leave with my third, I had this concept for Rumbly, this pregnancy subscription. And as I started diving deeper into it and understanding my motherhood journey and this sense of loss of self and identity that I went through, I really understood that I needed something that was there for the woman you are and the mom you're becoming. Because as we become mothers, whether it's your first, your second, your third, beyond, you're always becoming a new mom and you're always shedding part of your identity. And it's sort of a metamorphosis where you're growing into this new sense of self. But you never want to lose your core of who you are. So Rumbly is a pregnancy subscription showing up monthly at your doorstep with a box of a range of products that tap into both the woman you are and the mom you're becoming. And that's a very long answer to give you kind of the intro to Rumbly, a bit about me and my motherhood experience and journey to where I am today.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And I really do appreciate your vulnerability because most of us can relate to that in that we do feel like we lose a part of ourselves when we become a mom. And I love your tagline, the woman you are and the mom you're becoming, because like you said, you still, the core of who you are, that's not going to change, but we lose sight of that because suddenly our whole entire life has shifted. And it's a beautiful thing, even through, healthy pregnancies, navigating that. But part of you, yeah, you can feel a little guilty because it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm losing myself, but at the same time, I can't complain because I'm so blessed because I have this healthy pregnancy. So it really does turn up a lot of emotions. So what you're doing in maintaining that core of who we are inside, it's powerful. Absolutely powerful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I think ultimately the goal, and so Rumply just launched officially September of 2022. And ultimately, it's just about giving women a better pregnancy experience. And by doing so, it's just bringing them more into the narrative. Like I said, like what I found was my universe was, how's baby? How's baby? I went to a doctor appointment. How's baby? How's baby? No one's checking in on the woman who's transitioning and going through. Her world's getting flipped upside down. Your social life changes, your body is changing, your spirit is getting impacted, financials, politics, every single part of your world is being challenged and pulled and shifting in different ways. And yeah, so it's all about giving women a better experience, but having them, giving them a tool to focus on themselves when they also are all so laser focused on baby. And it's part of, I guess, this larger, broader movement of self-care. But what does self-care look like in pregnancy, and bringing women more to the forefront of that narrative?
Right. And like you said, it's a tool to focus on self care because it is important. If you're not treating yourself well, if you're not feeding yourself these healthy thoughts, and, there's so many aspects that go into it, how can you be the most present, the best woman, the best mom that you can be, developing these skills? And I think that brings us to our next point, which our idea of motherhood before having kids and then actually like going through it. I know for myself, those were two totally different things. I envisioned myself on my first maternity leave. I'm like, oh, we're going to snuggle and I'm going to nurse this baby. And she's just going to be this perfect angel. I'm going to get so much done. I'm going to get my whole house like organized. I'll deep clean while she's napping. I think I sat on the couch for 3 months and did nothing other than feed her and, change diapers. But so, I mean,
missed that time.
Yes, exactly. So has your experience as a mom been different than what you originally thought, going from 1 to 2 to 3, now to 4?
Very much so, and exactly to your point. Each time it was so different, and it's really interesting to hear you say, your memory of just, thinking your intro to motherhood was one way, and you're like, for the first 3 months, I sat on the couch watching TV. I did the same with my first, and I missed that so much. It's one of those that I thought I was going to be out and about and with the baby, and I ended up doing that. But now I'm out and about, but I'm running errands. I'm taking my kids to programs, to school, to different, and I yearn for that. I just wish I could sit on a couch for 3 months
Right.
watching TV. I have this, and cuddling my newborn. Like that's, so it changes. I think for me, it has changed with every birth. My motherhood experience has had to also shift and change from what I thought it would be like. And I always find that I'm kind of comparing back. So, kind of what you said, well, it's like, well, with this one, I got to do this, and I want to give my next child the same experience as I gave them. So I think about one of my hardest parts of my day every single day. Well, there's two, and I think every mother can relate. It's your mornings and your evenings. So for
Yes.
me, the evening, so I have four now, and each one demands their own bedtime. And bedtime is very ritual in my house. And they refuse to read books together, to lie together. Like their bedtimes have to be so separate. And the challenge we have as parents, which I haven't cracked and I have no idea how to fix it, or figure out rather, is how I can get them to have different bedtimes, because they all seem to have some kind of FOMO where they refuse to go to bed unless the other goes to bed, despite being, a 2 to 3 year age gap. They all need to go to bed at the same time. So it's night times are a constant struggle in my house. And then in terms of my vision of motherhood and trying to give each one my attention and my experience and my focus, I'm kind of scattered always between them, and that's kind of very far off from the vision of what you thought it would be like.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you navigating the chaos and just trying to, there's days where it's just survival. You just feel like you're going through, like, okay, we just have to get through bedtime. All right, we just have to get the next kids to school. I think that's something we all need to normalize, that conversation, that there are days when it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be messy. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be all out just survival mode.
I would say 6 or 7 out of my days are like that, to be perfectly honest. And the best strategy that I've found, honestly, is empathy. And I do whatever I can to empathize with my children. Of okay, let me put myself into your shoes for a minute. Let me hear myself. Let me step outside my body and listen to how I'm speaking to you. And let me then put myself into your shoes and how it feels and what may be going on in your head. And I think that's the strongest tool that a mother can have, or at least one of. And I like I said, like I have these chaos moments daily, whether it's from the morning routine or the evening routine or both. And I had one of those experiences this morning, and it was trying to pause again, listen to myself, put myself into my child's shoes, and then I can kind of talk through it more and solve a, a best solution, let's say, to mitigating whatever chaos the situation is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you brought up empathy, because yes, that can be a game changer. And as moms, I think we do have the gift of empathy. We can pick up on those subtle signs and signals that our kids are giving us. We do have that nurture, that empathy, that skill already within us, and just remembering to reframe those moments and be like, okay, you know what, this is chaotic, but this too shall pass, and just trying to navigate it moment by moment. Some days you just have to accept that it's okay that you're not going to get every single thing done. But at the end of the day, you're raising humans. You kept this baby alive. Let's all give ourselves some grace and just realize that this life is messy and yeah, but one day, this is temporary, just like everything else. Well, like you said, you look back and you wish for that time just with your first again, and
Yeah.
just, you know, embracing the current experience, chaos and all, can really be a game
Yeah.
changer. Because one day
100.
you'll look back and be like, "Wow, how did I survive this?" And you'll be there to be that guide for the next mom. Love
Yeah.
it.
I think that's such a great point too, Amy. Like I think the other thing I would say is part of that, which I mentioned, was pausing. And we
Yeah,
don't pause enough to just like take one breath, think and breathe because we're in go. As moms,
right.
we're in go mode. We're mom entrepreneurs. We're go, 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 go. We know no other way. It's almost, it's innate. Like you can't even control it.
Yeah.
My mind and my body are constantly racing. So to try to relearn how to pause, and I think that's something else that is can be extremely, extremely helpful and useful. Um, and something that I work on daily, and it doesn't I'm not very good at it, but trying to be more conscious of it, just to pause again and analyze that situation so then you can offer more empathy from yourself.
I feel like, that pause, it's so important because it gets us out of reactive mode in the moment. I know, when my oldest, she goes on a tangent, it's just like, whoo. So, yeah, we all need to practice that pause. And for her, it's all right, you need to go to your room and just hang out with your own thoughts for a few minutes, and then let's talk about this, because right now nothing I say, nothing I do will get you through this situation. So I need to become less reactive too, and it takes practice, because just because you tell yourself, all right, I'm going to start pausing, it's not going to work. It's, you have to
Yeah.
practice it over and over and over and over, and it's a skill, and we're all learning that. But if we can be the leaders and teach our children these skills, something as simple as practicing the pause to take them out of reactive mode, I think that right there is a game changer.
And I think knowing too that you'll never master it, you
Right.
know? Like perfection doesn't exist, and we all know that. We hear that and we know that. But like, when I hear you talking about the pausing and, which I agree, it's like it's something you always need to work on. You'll never be the best at it.
Right.
Never. That's not possible. You always have to work on it. As children, we're always learning and growing and practicing and trying. And it's not because we're adults that stops. We have to always keep learning and growing and trying and putting effort in to make things a situation that we hope it is.
Exactly, exactly. Because it truly is a journey. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you're perfect. It just means, you're human. Just keep showing up, keep trying, keep being that example, because, our kids are growing and developing every single day. The person they were in first grade is not the same person they are in fourth grade. We're constantly as parents having to learn to adjust, to tweak our own techniques to be the best mom for our children. But it's just practice. It's giving ourselves grace and knowing that, yeah, perfection doesn't exist. It's a myth. You're
Yeah,
absolutely
no,
right.
yeah, and again, similar to, it's nice when you speak to mom entrepreneurs because it's so similar. Business, and I don't want to say families like business because it's very much not, but running a business is every day is different.
Yeah,
When you're a parent, every day is different. Things get thrown at you in both, and you're darting them, or you're trying to fix them, or you're trying to plan for the future, and you're kind of doing a million things at once in both. And your skills kind of cross over a lot in that way, and it's really nice for me to talk to mom entrepreneurs because you get each other on a level
yeah,
that's different from just like another mom friend or from just like an entrepreneur. Like you have this like deep kind of, I hear you, I feel you, like, and like I get it, and even if I'm not in the exact same situation, like I connect with what you're saying very much, and it's really nice,
absolutely.
special thing.
Yeah, definitely. Do you feel like being a mom has helped you be a better business owner?
100%. 100%. Like I said, there's so much crossover of like skill sets that you need in terms of like navigating the chaos, setting visions. Like I said, visions for my family. Like we said, like, this is how I vision my family. But like, is it going to go that way? No. My kids, like you said, like the kid in grade 1 is not the kid in grade 3, so your business, your month 1 is not your business, year 2 or year 5, So it's very similar skill set that really crosses over from one to the other. And especially, all the mom entrepreneurs I know, they're so passionate, and it's so beautiful. It's not just business to them. Their businesses are so much like their their other child. Like it's an extension of their family. And it's not that you can't keep the two separate, but it is your baby. Like with Rumbly, like I birthed another baby. Essentially, I care so much about it, and I'm so passionate about it. And which is amazing. So you can be so passionate about something other than just your kids or your family, and have that to want to care for and nurture in, again, a similar kind of way. And it's beautiful, and I love that.
It truly is. And Marnie, I just appreciate your vulnerability and just candidness throughout this conversation because it's not easy. And I'm here to normalize that conversation and just let moms know you're not alone amongst the chaos. We're in the thick of it right here with you. So thank you so much for taking time out of the chaos to share your story with our listeners. Where can we learn more about you and Rumbly?
Yeah, so the best place to learn about Rumbly, I would say, is our website, which is rumbly.co, or Instagram, which we're very social on, and looking to build a community of Rumbly moms. I am active in the DMs, so if you ever want to say hi, vent, share a story, ask a question, please do. And that's at rumbly_co. And we do have an offer now if you do go on our website, and it's free shipping to anywhere in the US and Canada, and constantly launching new products, constantly looking for feedback from other moms who either have been there, who are currently there. Please give me a shout out and let me know your thoughts. It goes a long way. I can say that.
I love it. I love it. And what a great gift idea too. I'm thinking of some of the moms in my life, and I'm like, oh, this could be a great, even Mother's Day gift for the mom that's expecting, or, any of those occasions. Like let's make that mom feel special again. And you are truly on a mission to do that. And I love it. The woman you are and the mom you're becoming. Absolutely beautiful mission. All right.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Absolutely. Well, until next time, stop dreaming and start taking messy action. You've got this. Are you loving what you're hearing? Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode.